The following sports special is a broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR, Martinsburg. It's time for the fun of a summertime tradition with Little League All-Star Baseball. Play ball! Today's Little League All-Star action is being brought to you by
Trips Floor Sanding and Berkeley Fashion Flooring, Bechtel Jewelers, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, the Berkeley County Health Department, Procter & Gamble, Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors John Everson and Phil McCoy, and Parsons Ford.
And now, let's go to the ballpark and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team with today's pregame show.
We welcome you into the Grant County Little League Complex. We are at Michael Field, where today we get underway the District 6 tournament. It is doubleheader action in the 10 to 12-year-old Little League All-Star Tournament. Game 1, an elimination matchup between Martinsburg and Hampshire. Game 2, out of the winner's bracket, will feature Jefferson against Bi-State. For Talk Radio WRNR and TV10 Sports, I'm Matt Miller. Matt Crawford has the weekend off. Caleb Falero is our studio engineer. Now let's tell you how these two teams have reached this point. We'll start with Martinsburg, who will be the visiting team, coming in at 3-1, going through Area 1 tournament play. They started with a 15-1 victory over Morgan County and then a 4-3 win against Hedgesville. That put them into that winner's bracket championship game where Martinsburg suffered their only loss. That came against Jefferson, 5-2 the final. Martinsburg then went on in that loser's bracket to defeat Hedgesville 8-5, improving to 3-1 and advancing to tournament play here today. For Hampshire, they'll come in at 2-1, just 3 teams in the Area 2 tournament, and Hampshire got it started with a 9-4 victory over Moorfield. That put them into the championship game in the winner's bracket, where they suffered their loss 15-3 against Bi-State. Then in that loser's bracket championship, it was a good one. 9 innings it took before Hampshire got by Moorfield for a second time. 11-10 the final in that one, and that is how Hampshire has reached this point. The loss from the area tournament still officially a part of District 6 play, so it carries over to today, meaning our winner will advance to play tomorrow against the loser of our later game from the winner's bracket between Jefferson and Bi-State. The loser of this early game sees their Little League All-Star season come to a close. So a very crucial game to get it started on what is a hot and muggy day. We did have rain that came through earlier, but right now sunny skies prevailing, and we are just about ready for Little League Baseball. Well, let's send it back to the studio. We'll take a 1-minute timeout, and then when we return, we're just about ready to introduce today's starting lineups. It is Little League All-Star Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV10.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back-and-forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
We are back once again here at the Grant County Little League Complex. It's Michael Field as we get ready for an elimination game in the 10 to 12-year-old District 6 All-Star Tournament. Martinsburg against Hampshire. Later at around 7:30, our pregame right around 7:15, it'll be Jefferson versus Bi-State. That is a winner's bracket matchup as both teams will come in undefeated. Bi-State needed just one win to claim that winner's bracket championship here in Area 2. Jefferson needed just 2 wins to claim the winner's bracket championship in Area 1. As they work to get the public address system going here, we will go ahead and begin a look at the starting lineups as the coaches are meeting with the umpires, and now you can hear it in the background. The PA is up, and they're going to take a look at those lineups as well to the crowd on hand here. Let's begin with Martinsburg, who will be the visiting team. Martinsburg led by Victor Lupus as the manager. Randy Brown and Tony Gall are the coaches. For Martinsburg, center fielder Aiden Medina is in the leadoff spot. He's followed by the second baseman, Jameer Brown. Batting third and playing third base is Christian Alter. In the cleanup spot, shortstop, Braden Oviedo. The number 5 hitter at first base, Sean Parkinson. Batting sixth and catching is Brett Pedersen. The number 7 hitter, starting pitcher, Ben Reisenweber. Batting eighth in right field, Matthew Johns. And the number 9 hitter is left fielder R.J. Brown. So again, Medina, Brown, and Alter, followed by Oviedo, Parkinson, and Pedersen. Reisenweber, Johns, and Brown in the starting lineup. Rounding out the roster, Will Fleming, Braden Harrison, Matty Lupus, and Jalen Blair. Now for homestanding Hampshire. They are led by manager Travis Mowry, assisted by Robbie Hott and Brock Van Meter. For Hampshire, in the leadoff spot, center fielder Aiden Loy. Batting second, playing second base is Braden Hott. In the number 3 spot, shortstop Ethan Van Meter. Hitting cleanup, first baseman Luke Poore. The number 5 hitter at third base, Cannon Mowry. Batting sixth, the left fielder Easton Fry. The number 7 hitter in right field is Wyatt Adams. Batting eighth and doing the pitching, Mark Richmond. And the number 9 hitter and catcher is Carter Smith. So again, Loy, Hott, and Van Meter, followed by Poore, Mowry, and Fry. Adams, Richmond, and Smith round out the batting order starting lineup for Hampshire. The rest of the roster includes Landon Whitaker, Brent Evans, Parker Charlton, Braxton Billmeyer, and Kaylee Hall. So that is a look at our lineups. Martinsburg losing the coin flip, and at the end of the flip, Victor Lupus said, I believe he's now 1-29 in those coin flips. I asked if that was over his full career, and he said yes. I asked him if he decided maybe to have one of the assistant coaches do that flip instead of him as the manager. He said they've tried. That hasn't worked out either. He had no real reason, just said let's blame it on the district administrator, Nevin Kilmer. I don't know why, but Martinsburg has not had the luck with the coin flip. We'll see if they can have a little better luck out on the field today as Martinsburg will bat first in this matchup. Martinsburg in the dugout off the third base side. They are in the white uniforms with orange lettering and black trim. Hampshire off the first base side in the green uniforms, white lettering and trim. As we pause here for the anthem and the pledge, we'll take a 2-minute timeout and then return with Little League All-Star Baseball.
We encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. Certainly has helped take us to another level.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 south in Chambersburg.
J.R. Riddle, Doug Swick, and Jamie Hall.
We welcome you back into Michael Field. We are just outside of Petersburg, West Virginia, getting ready for the 10 to 12-year-old District 6 Little League All-Star Tournament. The lineups have been introduced. We have had the national anthem and the Little League pledge. Managers and coaches finishing up the ground rules, going over everything along with our umpiring crew, and Richie Baldwin giving all of the instructions. Dimensions here, 200 feet all the way around. There's plenty of foul territory down both lines and just a little bit in behind home plate. You've got to watch the carom, and in fact earlier we watched for Martinsburg, Randy Brown, one of their coaches, come out with a couple of baseballs in hand and throw them off of that backstop to get an idea of how they caromed and to be able then to share that with Brett Pedersen, the Martinsburg catcher, so that they could be aware. Also, the runners can kind of be aware of how that ball may come off of the chain link fencing backstop. It does have some padding that goes up a few feet that wraps around that backside of home plate and starts over towards the dugouts. The nice cinder block dugouts, the white plastic, I should say yellow plastic piping that is on top of the chain link fence railings that works all the way around from foul territory, around the outfield fencing and back down the other side in foul territory. Beautiful complex here. They have done a tremendous job. The field that we are playing on, there is a field directly behind us, and then a field also off to our left. There are some other fields that are a part of the complex as well. The parking is off to our right, and of course up here in the press box, an opportunity, depending on which side you go to look out the windows and be able to take in whatever activities may be going on at each of the various fields. A beautiful setting for Little League All-Star Baseball, and earlier as they introduced the teams, the umpires, they also introduced those that have worked so hard to make sure that we could even play these games today. They have had some pretty heavy rains that have worked through this part of West Virginia over the last couple of nights, and the crew got here, from what I heard, around 7 a.m. this morning to do some work and get things together. I got a text from Nevin Kilmer, the district administrator, earlier in the day saying that there were some muddy issues at the field, and the decision would ultimately be made later in the day as to whether we'd be able to play. They were able to get the field together, and more rain came through this afternoon, but they do have a large tarp that covers the entire infield. They were able to get that tarp down before the real heavy rains came, and even as we pulled into the parking lot right around 3:30, there was some rain that was moving through the area, but nonetheless the grounds crew has worked very diligently, and it shows as this field in great shape as we get ready for today's doubleheader action. Game 1, Martinsburg and Hampshire. Game 2, Jefferson against Bi-State. Well, it's Mark Richmond who is towing the pitching rubber, going through his warm-up tosses, getting ready to face this Martinsburg lineup. Our four-man umpiring crew, by the way, Brent Matheny behind the plate calling balls and strikes. The veteran Turk Cole is at first base. Kelly Heischman is the umpire at second base, and then Eric Kreitz, our umpire, at third. Turk Cole talking with me earlier about Brent Matheny being a pitcher in this very tournament back in the day, and going up against a pretty good left-hander from Jefferson. And as they were talking about it up here as the umpires were getting ready, that pretty good left-hander was Josh Sennett. And so that was a pretty good matchup way back in the day, back in the 90s. But we are ready to go as Aiden Medina, center fielder for Martinsburg, makes his way towards that left-hand batter's box. By the way, I know those listening back at home, we were bringing you some Washington Nationals baseball against the Kansas City Royals. Still relatively early on in that one, and we'll keep you up to date with scoring updates as we bring you Little League action here. Well, the first pitch of the ball game coming at exactly 5:01, and it is in there for a called strike to Aiden Medina. Tall and lean in that left-hand batter's box. Medina, 3 hits in 14 at-bats in the area tournament. Shows bunt, takes a pitch that misses down low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Medina pretty good speed and coming out of that left-hand batter's box. And by showing bunt, that's got Cannon Mowry, the third baseman, in a couple of steps on the grass. Here's that next pitch. It works high and outside. Now 2 balls and a strike. This is one thing Martinsburg did well in the Area 1 tournament. That is work pitchers. 23 base on balls that they drew in the 4 games. A swing and a miss at the 2-1 pitch. Now 2-2. Nice pitch from Richmond as he worked a little up and away from Medina. Got him to go after one that may have been out of the strike zone. Now that break-even pitch on the way. The 2-2 delivery on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Medina thought it missed inside as he gave a quick glance back to our plate umpire, but he'll head to the dugout off the third base side as Richmond has a strikeout. 1 down, bases empty. Now Jameer Brown to the plate. Brown, one of the top hitters in the area tournament for Martinsburg. 5 hits in 9 at-bats. Fouls the first pitch back out of play, first base side. Count no balls and a strike. Brown, a right-hand batter, good size in that batter's box. Takes a practice cut as he looks down at his manager, Victor Lupus, in that third base coach's box. He steps back in, and the pitch misses high. 1-1 the count. Brown with a couple of doubles and a run batted in back in the area tournament. Also drew 4 base on balls to just a couple of strikeouts, so he's been very good at putting the ball in play. Takes this pitch high. Now 2-1. 5 pitches for Richmond to retire Medina. Now 3 to Brown, so he's up to 8 in the early going of this one. Pitch count so important to see how deep a pitcher may be able to go in this one. He delivers a called strike as the count evens 2-2. With the sun shining, it is a sticky day with those showers that came through earlier. Game time temperature 87 degrees. Swinging at the 2-2. Here's a line shot into right center field. Aiden Loy, the center fielder, able to cut it off and get it back to the infield. It got by the cutoff man Van Meter, but a nice job by the third baseman Mowry backing up the play and holding Brown at first with a 1-out single. Got that one out off the end of the bat just a little bit. Went with it. Took it out into right center field. Loy able to get over and cut it off. Martinsburg has a 1-out runner for Christian Alter. Alter, another right-hand batter. Squares around, shows bunt, takes a pitch that misses high. Brown staying put at first. No leadoff at this level of Little League baseball. Base paths 60 feet, 45 feet from the pitching rubber to home. 1-0 delivery again. Alter shows bunt, takes the pitch that misses high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Alter in the area tournament led Martinsburg with 9 hits in 13 at-bats. He had 5 doubles, a home run, and 3 driven in. Very solid area tournament. He'll take another fastball that stays high, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Richmond has had a little bit of trouble getting the ball down as he's missed high when he has missed. He's looking into the dugout off that first base side. Got a little encouragement, maybe some instruction as well. And he will go back to work with a pitch that misses outside. That'll be ball 4. A 4-pitch base on balls. Martinsburg has a little something going now with runners at first and second and just 1 out. Brown's 5th walk. Martinsburg's 24th as a team here in this postseason. 2 on with 1 down for the shortstop and cleanup hitter, Braden Oviedo. He squares to show bunt and takes a pitch up and in. 5 straight out of the strike zone for Richmond, and most of those have been high. And now time taken, and it looks like Travis Mowry, manager for Hampshire, headed out to talk a little bit with both pitcher and catcher. Maybe just going over a few mechanical things. Richmond needs to get a little more on top of that pitch and get it down in the zone. Braden Oviedo had a strong Area 1 tournament, a .500 average, 4 hits and 8 trips to the plate. He had a home run as well. One of 3 this Martinsburg team as a whole hit. A quick conference wrapping up, and Oviedo steps back into the right-hand batter's box. Action underway, 1-0 pitch. Again showing bunts, but the fastball misses high. 2-0 the count. Poor, the first baseman, was coming down the line. Mowry trying to stay put at third with 2 on, just in case they could try to get that lead runner. Now that 2-0 pitch, Oviedo again shows bunt and takes, and the pitch misses high. 3-0, 7 consecutive pitches missing the strike zone for Richmond. No score. Top half of inning number 1, Martinsburg at the plate with runners at first and second, 1 down in the inning. Oviedo again shows bunt, takes the pitch, this one a called strike. See if Oviedo is taking again, or will he get the green light? Sean Parkinson due next. Richmond on the hill is ready, working from the windup and the delivery right down the middle. It's a called strike 2. Oviedo clearly taking all the way after 7 straight pitches out of the strike zone. He wanted to make sure that Richmond could find the plate twice, and now he's got to protect. Chokes up on the bat ever so slightly. 3-2 on the way, and it misses down and in. Glances off the mid of Smith. He'll get on it quickly, and the runners advance on the base on balls as Jameer Brown goes from second to third. Alter from first to second. Oviedo takes over at first base. The bases are loaded after a 1-out single and a pair of walks. And now it brings up Sean Parkinson, first baseman, number 5 hitter in the order. He likewise squares and shows bunt. Both corner infielders coming in as Parkinson takes that pitch for a strike. In this case, looking to get that out at the plate should Parkinson lay it down. Both Mowry at third and Poor from first came down the line. Middle infielders stay back. No sign of bunt. In fact, a big swing and miss by Sean Parkinson. Went after that one at the top of the strike zone. Came up empty, and it's 0-2. Parkinson a hit in 7 trips to the plate, including a run batted in, also a couple of base on balls back in the area tournament. Shows a good eye here, letting that 0-2 pitch go by high and outside. That's ball 1. Big opportunity early on for Martinsburg. Key situation for Richmond and this Hampshire defense. The 1-2 on the way. That one had the plate, but down below the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, a good eye by Parkinson. That would have easily been a pitch to chase, but he let it go by. Here comes that 2-2 taken for a called strike 3. Good looking pitch on the outer edge. Parkinson watched it go by. That's 2 Ks in the inning for Richmond, and both have been looking. He got Medina to start the game, and with the bases loaded and 1 out, gets Parkinson for that key second out. And now Brett Pedersen, the batter. A right-hander near the back of that box. Takes a pitch that misses down low for ball 1. Boy, big opportunity here for Richmond and this Hampshire defense to get out of this mess without giving up a run. That could be a momentum changer. Pedersen shows bunt, pulls back, takes a strike on the inside corner, and it's 1-1. A 1-out single, a couple of walks, loading the bases. Now Pedersen seeing if he can do some damage. He went 2 for 9 in the area tournament. The 1-1 on the way, tries to check his swing, can't do it. He goes through the zone for strike 2. And now Richmond just a strike away from striking out the side and setting down Martinsburg without giving up a run. Martinsburg has stranded 29 base runners so far through 4 games. Pedersen takes that 1-2 down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. While they've scored 29 runs on 30 hits through the Area 1 tournament, they've left a lot on base as well. Here's that 2-2, and it misses a little high and tight, and that is ball 3. Boy, good eye by Pedersen not to go after that one. And now Richmond has to deliver a strike. The 3-2 on the way. And it's a fastball high for ball 4. Pedersen draws the base on balls and will collect a run batted in. Jameer Brown scores from third. Alter now stands at third with Oviedo at second. Pedersen aboard at first. It'll bring up opposing pitcher Ben Reisenweber. For Pedersen, RBI number 5 on his second walk of the postseason. Now all 3 that are on base reached via the walk as Reisenweber takes high and outside. Ball 1, that pitch count that we talked about very early on for Richmond, really beginning to mount as he is facing his 7th batter in this Martinsburg top of the first. From the wind, here's the fastball that again stays high, 2-0. We started this game under sunny skies, now a little cloud cover back over the hillsides here in the Petersburg area. Keep an eye on it as the 2-0 is on the way right down the middle, 2 balls and a strike. 26 total walks now in the postseason for Martinsburg. They've been patient at the plate. Richmond with the next delivery, a fastball that stays high, and the count has gone to 3-1. There's no place to put him. Richmond has already walked in 1. He's just not been able to get on top of that baseball and get it down into the zone consistently. It's missed high on a number of pitches. Here's that 3-1, and it is a strike on the outside corner. Reisenweber was taking, and now it's full at 3-2. Well, he went full to Pedersen before issuing the walk to bring in a run. Let's see what happens on this payoff pitch. Reisenweber ready, and so too is Richmond, and the fastball sails high, and that is ball 4. Back-to-back bases loaded walks give Martinsburg now a 2-0 lead as Christian Alter comes home to score from third. You now have Oviedo at third, Pedersen at second, Reisenweber aboard at first, and Matthew Johns making his way to the plate. By the way, checking in on the Nationals, they've put 3 on the board in the bottom of the second inning and have a 4-0 lead over Kansas City. Here's a swing and a line drive over the head of the shortstop, a base hit, mishandled by Loy, the center fielder, and that's going to allow another run to score. Oviedo, who was at third, easily coming home to score on that base hit into left center field for Matthew Johns. Brett Pedersen, who was probably going to stop at third, was able to motor around as well, as Aiden Loy did not come up with it cleanly out in center field. So an RBI base hit for Johns. 2 runs ultimately score. You've got runners at the corners as Reisenweber went from first to third. And now R.J. Brown, the 9th batter in the inning, coming up. A 4-0 Martinsburg lead. And the first pitch missing away. Ball 1 to R.J. Brown, number 9 hitter and left fielder. 4-0 early lead for Martinsburg. 3 of the 4 walks issued in the inning have come home to score. Brown checking his swing at that 1-0 pitch, makes contact, bounces it foul over towards that first base dugout. Randy Brown, first base coach, comes down, gets that ball, gives it to Carter Smith, and the catcher returns it to umpire Brent Matheny. He had already put a new ball in play with a throw out to the pitcher Richmond, who's ready to go now with that 1-1 pitch. Here it comes. Oh, high and tight. That one hit him right in the back of the batting helmet. Brown seems none the worse for wear as he quickly was right back up and made his way to first base. Dad is right down there to tend to him. Randy Brown in that first base coach's box. A big hug, and I think we're just about ready to play baseball again. He is A-OK. Martinsburg again has loaded the bases. Scratch out the number 2 and right in a number 1 as Martinsburg has batted around now in this first inning, and time taken as Travis Mowry, manager for Hampshire, making his way out to the mound. His second visit here in this half inning. We'll wait and see if it's going to be a pitching change or just trying to settle things down for his pitcher and his entire infield as they all gather as he goes back to face Aiden Medina for a second time, trying to get out of this inning. Medina struck out looking, then Jameer Brown singled. Alterin Oviedo walked. Then came a strikeout of Sean Parkinson. And that strikeout left the bases loaded with 2 outs. Brett Pedersen and Ben Reisenweber each drew base on balls to bring in runs. And then Matthew Johns delivered an RBI single, an error to the center fielder, allowing another run to score. So 4 on the board right now for Martinsburg after R.J. Brown was hit by a pitch. That has reloaded the bases, and now I think we have a brief conversation related to the number of visits that are allowed, I guess, in a given half inning. If that second visit would have automatically mandated a pitching change. Martinsburg trying to stay alive in this loser's bracket matchup and off to a very good start. Ben Reisenweber will be the starting pitcher when Hampshire comes up in the bottom half of inning number 1, and he's already been staked to that 4-0 lead. Nevin Kilmer is our district administrator. He is checking things over. Richie Baldwin looking through the books that he has, as well as everyone wanting to make sure that they are on top of this situation before Aiden Medina makes his way back into the batter's box. So 2 in an inning is permitted, we're hearing in the press box, but the third one is the one in which they would have to remove him. So it looks like he will be allowed to stay. Mark Richmond would remain the pitcher as Aiden Medina makes his way back into the batter's box. Whatever you got. Sure, that'd be great. Thank you. So getting a drink here in the press box during this timeout. So the conference on the mound wrapping up, and let's see. Well, they are going to go ahead and make the pitching change, it looks like. So just about the time we thought we would not see a change, we ultimately do see a change. It might be Landon Whitaker. Jersey numbers not on the fronts, but only the backs of the jerseys. And so we await, and yes, it is Landon Whitaker who will be taking over on the mound for Hampshire. So as Whitaker goes through his warm-up tosses, let's send it back to the studio. We'll take a 60-second break and then come back to Petersburg, where we're still in the top half of inning number 1. Martinsburg has the bases loaded with 2 outs, and they've already put 4 on the board. It's Martinsburg 4, Hampshire nothing.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisp. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, We hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
Well, the pitching change has been made for Hampshire. Mark Richmond going to go 2/3 of an inning. So far allowing 4 runs on just 2 hits. He struck out 2 but controlled the issue. 4 base on balls along with 1 hit batter. 3 of the 4 runs scoring are 3 of the 4 walks that he allowed. One of those walks, Ben Reisenweber at third base. And, of course, R.J. Brown just hit by a pitch at first base. Sandwiched in between them, Matthew Johns. He's the runner at second as Martinsburg has the bases loaded. We had Richmond right up around 41 total pitches here in this first inning. 3, 6, that would be 8. That would make that 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Only about 17 of those 41 were for strikes. And so that gives you an idea of the tough time that Richmond had in being able to get those pitches down and being able to get them across the plate. So our new pitcher has wrapped up his warm-up tosses, and Landon Whitaker was not in the game. So he had an opportunity to loosen and get ready, and now he toes the pitching rubber, and the first pitch on the way, a called strike to Aiden Medina. Medina 0 for 1, got caught looking at a 2-2 pitch to open the ball game. This half inning about 21 minutes old, and now Medina helps him out, chases one up and away. A little bit of a wave and a miss, not even really a good cut. And Medina knew it as soon as he kind of waved through that pitch. He smacked the barrel end of the bat with his hand. Now he's got to be disciplined, awaiting that 0-2 delivery. Here it comes. It's down low and outside. Good shorthand stab by, or short hop stab, I guess you might say, by Carter Smith. So that one bounced right up into his catcher's mitt. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and it's popped up on the infield. The second baseman hot, backpedaling and a couple of steps into the grass. He pulls it in, and the side is retired. So Medina pops out to second for the final out of the inning. The damage is done as Martinsburg puts 4 runs on the board on 2 hits in the inning, taking advantage of 4 walks, a hit batter, and 1 error. They will leave the bases loaded. That means 2 left in scoring position, but at the end of a half an inning, we take a break with Martinsburg in front 4-0.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large 1-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery. Anthony'sMenu.com.
For Martinsburg, as Hampshire prepares for their first at bat, we're moving to the bottom half of inning number 1. Checking in again on that Washington Nationals matchup as the Nationals host Kansas City, trying to bounce back after a 7-4 11-inning loss in that series opener last night. The Nationals with Max Scherzer on the hill. That usually means good things, and right now it is the Nationals with a 4-0 lead, batting in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Scherzer has already struck out 7 over 4 innings, has walked 1, no runs allowed on 3 hits. We'll keep you updated on that one as we bring you action here. Ben Reisenweber ready to go to work, facing Aiden Lloyd to get it started. 5 pitchers for Martinsburg pitched in the area tournament, and Ben Reisenweber wasn't one of them. So it gives you an idea of the depth that manager Victor Lupus and his coaching staff have to give the ball to Reisenweber here in this one. And the first pitch to Aiden Loy, a high fastball and a swinging strike one. Loy, tall and lean in that left-hand batter's box. Chokes up on the bats just slightly. Next pitch to him, high and tight, has him kind of backing out of the way. Gave a little back bend, almost like trying to get ready to go under the bar on the limbo. Now that 1-1 delivery. That one again a bit up and in. 2 balls and a strike. So the inning starting very much the same way that the top of the first started for Mark Richmond. Got a strike and then back-to-back balls. Here's a fastball on the outside corner. Lloyd takes. The count evens up now, 2-2. In area tournament play, Martinsburg pitching allowed 29 hits and 14 runs and struck out 25 batters. That was over 22 innings. Lloyd takes as the 2-2 glances off the catcher's mitt of Pedersen and goes to the backstop. It's a full count. Reisenweber rubs down that new baseball. Now working from the windup, the right-hander is ready. Here it comes, swing and a miss. He got him. Good pitch to get Loy for out number 1. And it'll bring to the plate Braden Hott. Hott, one of the smallest players in stature that we have seen so far in this postseason. Second baseman, another left-hand batter. A much smaller strike zone than what Reisenweber had to work with against Loy. Here's the first pitch, and it is lined foul off the third base side for strike 1. That one got in on his hands just a little bit, but he fought it off. Christian Alter, the third baseman, over to pick that one up in front of the Martinsburg dugout along that third base side. Martinsburg pitching through the area tournament, issuing just 3 total walks in 22 innings. Had been very good at finding the strike zone. Hott watches as the 0-1 sails high and outside. Now at 1 ball and 1 strike. The sun has come back out here in Petersburg. After rain earlier before we ever got underway, we had sunny skies that gave way to some cloud cover, and now the sun back out again. Hott takes on that 1-1. It's a called strike 2. He steps out to gather himself and now is back in the left-hand batter's box. Here comes that pitch. Down low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reisenweber had this same situation against the leadoff batter Loy. Ultimately went to a full count before getting the strikeout. Comes with a pitch here. Popped up foul territory along the third base side, and it drops as a foul ball. Closest to it, the catcher Pedersen, but had no chance to get there. So that one did not have a lot of air underneath of it. And a good job by Hott to battle, fight off that pitch, and now he'll look for one he can put in play somewhere. The 2-2 again is due. And here he comes. And that fastball just outside. It has gone full, 3-2. Good eye by Hott to let that one go. Stands near the front of that left-hand batter's box. Back foot just about even with the point on the plate, and he takes the 3-2 delivery down low and outside, and it's a base on balls. Braden Hott aboard at first with 1 away for Ethan Van Meter. Shortstop number 3 hitter in the order. Van Meter, a right-hand batter. Hampshire scored 23 runs in their 3 games in the Area 2 tournament. Also gave up 29, albeit 15 in that championship game against Bi-State. Swinging at the first pitch, Van Meter bounces one slowly along that third base line. Reisenweber, the pitcher, over to get it, turns and makes that throw to first. And Van Meter is retired. The out will go 1-3. It's the second out of the inning, and Braden Hott, who was at first, moves up to second on that ground ball. So now 2 away, but a runner in scoring position for Luke Poor. That's P-O-R-R. Oore. Poor takes a fastball just a bit high and away. Count a ball and no strikes. First baseman and cleanup hitter. Here comes the pitch. That one a bit up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Reisenweber issued a 1-out walk. That base runner now at second with 2 away. 2-0 pitch. Inside corner, it's a called strike to run it to 2-1. Nice pitch from Reisenweber. Able to find his location there. Now that 2-1 pitch from the windup. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Poor just a little bit late getting around on that one. And the count now at 2-2. And let's see what Reisenweber comes back with. Outfield playing deep. Poor good size in that right-hand batter's box. He watches. That 2-2 goes outside. A bit low as well, and it's another full count. He's faced 4 batters, and Reisenweber's gone to a full count on 3 of them. Struck out 1, walked 1. Let's see what happens here. Here's the pitch, and that'll be another base on balls. That one high and a bit tight. And Luke Poor draws the walk. So puts runners at first and second with 2 away. Brings up the third baseman, Cannon Mowry. Mowry, another right-hand batter. Looks down at his manager in the third base coach's box. I'm going to imagine Dad, Travis Mowry. And first pitch swinging, Cannon Mowry sends a liner right at the second baseman, and Jameer Brown pulls it in, and the side is retired. So Mowry got a pitch to his liking, went after it, hit it pretty hard, but right at the second baseman. That line out ends the inning. There were a couple of base on balls that gave Hampshire 2 base runners, but they'll strand them, including 1 in scoring position. 1 inning in the books. We take a break with the score: Martinsburg 4, Hampshire nothing.
We only make home loans, so we better be good at it. And we are. It's that simple. With our focus solely on mortgage lending, you can come to us with peace of mind knowing that your mortgage loan is in good hands. As one of the nation's largest private lenders, our focus is on helping you get into your new home.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large 1-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery. Anthony'sMenu.com.
It's a 4-0 lead for Martinsburg as they will come to the plate. Top half of inning number 2. Martinsburg sent 10 batters to the plate in that first inning. Scored their 4 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 4 walks, and 1 hit batter. See how the second inning fares as Jameer Brown gets ready to face Landon Whitaker. Whitaker came in and retired the only batter that he faced to get out of that bases loaded jam in that first inning. Got the pop out to second off the bat of Aiden Medina. And now Brown, who had a single into right center his first time up, stands in. Top of the second underway with a swing and a miss for strike 1. Big inning here for Whitaker and Hampshire, down 4-0. Don't want to fall behind any more than that. Off-speed pitch that misses up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tell Whitaker took a little something off that one. Brown with that earlier hit, now 6 hits in 10 at-bats in the postseason, is really seeing the ball well and putting it in play. He takes the 1-1 that misses outside. And now it's 2 balls and a strike. Whitaker to the plate, missing high with this one, and it's 3-1. Walks an issue in that first inning. Hampshire hoping not to go through that here in this second. Working from the stretch, not the windup, is Whitaker. He's ready in the delivery. Swing and a miss. Brown a little out in front of that one. Count has gone full 3-2. That was a huge swing. Now that 3-2 delivery. Whitaker looking in at Smith, his catcher, and the pitch grounded sharply but foul just outside of that third base bag. Brown will come back and do it again as the count will hold. He's been out in front of a couple of pitches in which he did not make contact, was able to wait a little bit longer this time. While he made contact, still out in front too much as he pulled it foul down that third base line. There is that gap again out in right center field, which is where he got his base hit back in that first inning. 3-2 delivery, another foul ball. This one glancing off the mitt of Smith, the catcher, to the backstop. Count remains full, 3-2. We've seen a number of 3-2 pitches out of both pitching staffs in the early part of this one. A lot of pitches thrown. As a matter of fact, we're talking about 65 pitches between the three pitchers in that first inning. And Brown takes this 3-2 delivery, and it's a strike on the outside corner. Good pitch by Whitaker as he will get Brown looking. One down in the inning as it brings up Christian Alter. Richmond threw 41. Whitaker came in and threw 4, so that's 45, and then 21 pitches in the bottom of the first for Reisenweber. So that would be, did I get it right, 66 total pitches. First pitch to Alter. That one missing for a ball. Alter drew a walk, came around and scored his first time up. Takes this pitch up a little in as well. 2 balls and no strikes. While Whitaker did battle back to retire Brown on the strikeout. Hate to keep falling behind hitters and having to battle in that way. Here's a swing and a bouncer past the shortstop out into left field. Fry moving over to his left, able to cut it off, and the left fielder getting it in to hold Christian Alter to the 1-out single. Alter did not miss on that one. Turned on it, hit it very sharply. Ethan Van Meter with the glove on that left hand moving to his right. Had to reach out and try to backhand and had no chance to get that one as it hit the dirt and then skipped right past him and out into left field. So a 1-out base hit. There's a runner on for Braden Oviedo. First pitch swinging. He pops it foul out of play. Just to the left of our broadcast position. That one ultimately ends up on field 3. With the various fields here at the Little League Complex. Count to Oviedo, 0-1. He drew a walk and came around to score back in that first inning. The 0-1 pitch. Again, he pops it foul, back out of play, this time to the right side of the press box. Count 0-2, and our plate umpire, Brent Matheny, is in need of some additional baseballs. Sean Parkinson due next in this Martinsburg second inning, 4-0. Martinsburg put 4 on the board in the top of the first. Hampshire did not score in their first at bat, and now Martinsburg batting in the top of the second. 0-2 pitch down low and outside. 1-2 to Oviedo. Martinsburg with 3 hits in this one, now 33 total hits in the postseason. Here's a pitch that bounces out in front of the plate, gets by Smith to the backstop. That will be a wild pitch, advancing Christian Alter to second base. Count moves to 2 balls, 2 strikes on Oviedo. There's a ball going out to the shortstop, or Van Meter puts it on to Alter, but he did not come off the second base bag. So now that 2-ball, 2-strike pitch due. Here it comes. Popped foul on top of the press box. Oviedo staying alive. Sun dipping back in behind the clouds again, as we've had that mix of sun and clouds pretty much since the opening pitch. We'll take it as long as the clouds don't bring the showers or rain of earlier today. Oviedo again bounces a pitch foul. 3 straight that he has fouled off as he sent one to the left of the press box, to the right of the press box, onto the roof of the press box, and Now this one he beats down into home plate, and then it rolls towards the backstop. So again, a 2-ball, 2-strike pitch due. Whitaker really having to work hard to try to get the out, and he does just that. Climbed the ladder with a pitch that was up out of the zone, but Oviedo went after it, chased that pitch, and that is a strikeout, second of the inning for Whitaker. It is now 4 Ks in this ball game for Martinsburg, meaning they have struck out 38 times through this postseason. So they have labored at times with the strikeout. While they've been patient enough to draw walks, when they haven't drawn those walks, a lot of those outs have been recorded via the strikeout. And instead of Parkinson, looks like we're going to have Matty Lupus called on as a pinch hitter. So Matty Lupus to bat here in this second inning. The right-hand batter takes, and that is strike one. So Lupus hitting with a runner in scoring position at second. 2 outs in the inning. Lupus a hit in a couple of at-bats. 2 runs batted in, 4 base on balls through the area tournament. He's really shown a good eye at the plate as he takes this one high, and it's 1-1. Lupus striking out only once. Has come around to score a run as well. On the 1-1, he takes a called strike 2. Whitaker ahead in the count. Second baseman Hott over, trying to keep Alter close there at second as Alter dances around after each pitch and gets to the plate. This one sails high, and the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Jefferson and Bi-State coming up at around 7:30. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch, and it's taken for a called strike 3. So Lupus goes down on strikes, and what an inning for Whitaker as he strikes out the side. Martinsburg does get a 1-out single from Christian Alter, but they'll leave the base runner stranded in scoring position at second base. We are moving to the bottom of the second inning, and your score remains Martinsburg 4 and Hampshire nothing.
The road to the TBT WVU Alumni Tour is coming to Hedgesville High School Saturday, July 13th at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale now for just $20 at jflowent.com. That's jflowent.com. Don't miss out on this exciting night of basketball with some incredible WVU alumni like John Flowers, Joe Alexander, Nate Adrian, and Deshaun Butler. Saturday, July 13th at 7 p.m. at Hedgesville High School. The road to the TBT WVU Alumni Tour comes to town.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
Ben Reisenweber going through his warm-up pitches, getting ready for the bottom of the second inning. In that first inning, 21 pitches, 10 of those went for strikes. No runs, no hits. He did walk a pair. Also struck out a batter. He walked every other hitter that he faced. After striking out Loy, he walked Hott, then got Ethan Van Meter on a bouncer off the third base side of the mound. The out recorded 1-3. Then came Luke Poore, who drew the walk. And with 2 on, a line out from Cannon Mowry ended the inning. It'll be Easton Fry to get it started, then Wyatt Adams. And it should be Landon Whitaker in that number 8 spot in the order. So Easton Fry ready to stand in as we get the bottom of the second started. Outfield playing deep in left. Pretty routine for Medina in center. A little bit of a gap in right center as the first pitch to Fry works down low and away, ball 1. Fry, the number 6 hitter in the order. Where's the unusual number 88? See a lot of double zeros and things like that when you get to these Little League All-Star tournaments, as the 1-0 pitch is on the outside corner. It's called strike. Now 1-1. But you don't see a lot of number 88s. Fry near the back of that right-hand box takes this pitch down low and outside. So they count now at 2 balls and a strike. It's like Bi-State and Jefferson maybe getting ready for the coin flip just below the broadcast booth here. That 2-1 pitch. It works outside now, 3 balls and a strike. We'll tell you who's going to be home and away in just a moment, as Jefferson and Bi-State playing a winner's bracket game coming up. Here's a pitch that works down low and outside, and Fry draws the base on balls, and the string continues of every other batter drawing a walk. The 2, 4, and 6 hitters have now all drawn the base on balls. Wyatt Adams, the right fielder, number 7 hitter in the order, ready to stand in with that runner at first base. Adams in the right-hand box, swings and lifts it foul out of play first base side. Count no balls and a strike. Bi-State is home, we just heard. So Bi-State wins that coin flip, and they will be the home team in Game 2. So both of the Area 1 teams, visitors on day 1. Adams gets just a piece of that 0-1, hung on to by Pedersen. Count now no balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out with a runner at first. Bottom half of the second inning. 4-0. Martinsburg leading. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Now 1-2. See if Mark Richmond re-enters to hit in that number 8 spot in the order after he gave way to Landon Whitaker on the mound. Here's the pitch, and Adams with a good healthy rip fouls it off the end of the bat and through to the backstop. So it holds it a ball and 2 strikes. Good at bat there by Adams. Nice job getting a piece of the pitch. Holds those feet pretty close together in the back of that right-hand box, then looks to stride into the pitch. And here it comes, and it's a swing and a miss, but the ball in the dirt gets away from Pedersen, goes through to the backstop. He had no idea where it was. He picks it up and now throws it back towards the pitcher at the plate. It goes by him as the runner at first, Easton Fry, goes all the way around to third base. Boy, that is a tough one, as it will be a strikeout, the second of the game for Reisenweber, but a 3rd strike wild pitch. First base was occupied, so the batter is out. So the runner who was at first does advance on his own risk. So he goes all the way around to third, but there is an out in the inning as Adams is retired. Could not try to advance even on that 3rd strike wild pitch because first base was occupied, and it is Landon Whitaker who stands in and swings and misses at strike 1. So the first run for Hampshire 60 feet away at third with 1 down in the inning. That 0-1 pitch on the way. It's a bouncer towards the first baseman. He's got it. He will step on first, and that is the only play there will be. That's Matty Lupus out there playing at first base. He was able to grab that one and step on first, but as he looked to the plate, had no chance to get Fry. He comes home to score from third on that ground ball out. Whitaker gets a run batted in. The out, 3 unassisted, 2 outs in the inning. Now the base is empty, and it brings up Carter Smith, catcher and number 9 hitter, and he takes strike 1. So 4-1. Now that Martinsburg lead as Hampshire dents the scoreboard for the first time. Reisenweber ready. Here is that 0-1 pitch. A check swing by Smith, but it's a strike on the outside corner nonetheless. Reisenweber a pitch away from getting out of the inning. The 0-2 is due. From the windup, working from the third base side of the pitching rubber. Here it comes, and it's lined into left field. R.J. Brown in and to his left, able to play it on a hop. Carter Smith has a 2-out single. That becomes the first hit of the day for Hampshire. They've had 3 base runners on walks. One of those came around to score. Easton Fry got this inning started with a walk. Went all the way around to third on a 3rd strike wild pitch. Came home to score on the RBI ground out from Whitaker. 2 outs with a runner at first, back to the top of the order. Aiden Loy in the left-hand batter's box, and he takes down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Loy struck out, swinging at a 3-2 pitch back in the first inning. He swings, pops this one foul out of play. Count now 1-1. So Hampshire on the scoreboard and a base runner on with 2 outs. 4-1, Martinsburg out in front. 4 in that first. It's a Martinsburg team that has had some big innings. 4 in the third in the 8-5 win against Hedgesville in the losers bracket championship. Swing and a foul tip. Hung on to by Pedersen. Now at a ball and 2 strikes, and of course their big one, a 10-run fourth inning in that 15-1 win against Morgan County that opened Area 1 play. Reisenweber with the 1-2 pitch. It's a hard hit ground ball to the second baseman. Jameer Brown has it. Turns and throws to Lupus at first in time to get him. Loy hit it hard, but the ground out recorded 4-3. It ends the inning, but a run does come home to score on a walk, a wild pitch, a ground out. There was a hit in the inning as well, and as we go to the third, it is Martinsburg 4 and Hampshire 1.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
Blue Ridge Community and Technical College. Integrated directly with economic and workforce needs of the region, our programs are learner-centered and essential to the needs of a fast-paced global economy. To schedule a visit or to learn more, go to blueridgectc.edu. Take possibility to new heights. Ascend the ridge today. Blue Ridge Community and Technical College.
From here at Michael Field, the Grant County Little League Complex just outside of Petersburg. Matt Crawford off. Caleb Valero is our studio engineer. Game 1 of doubleheader action in this 10 to 12-year-old District 6 tournament. This is the second step, if you will, in that road to Williamsport in the Little League World Series. District 6 breaks down into 2 areas. The Area 1 tournament back at home had the 5 teams that started tournament play, breaking down to the 2 that are here, Martinsburg in the losers bracket, Jefferson in the winners bracket. While in Area 2, it was 3 teams that were a part of that tournament. Moorfield eliminated. Hampshire is here in the losers bracket, Bi-State in the winners bracket. Now these 4 teams will get whittled down to 1 that will advance to the state tournament. First time in about 13 years that we've been back to just 1 representative. It was 13 years ago or so that the decision was made to take 2 representatives from each district into the state tournament. But they have gone back to just 8 teams that'll be a part of the state tournament. So 1 from each district except the host. The host district will get that second spot to round it out to 8 teams. Batter at the plate, Jalen Blair taking ball 1. And now that 1-0 delivery missing for ball 2. So Blair batting in the number 6 spot in the order. Previously manned by the catcher, Brett Pedersen. He shows bunt, and Blair takes a pitch. That one's down low. 3 balls and no strikes. Landon Whitaker, 27 pitches, 17 for strikes since coming in that first inning. Struck out the side in the second. Has fallen behind Blair 3-0, and now comes back with strike 1. Of course, our state winner then moves on to the Southeast region, where once again there will be 8 states represented. Blair swings, bounces it on the right side of the infield. Head high hop for Hott, and the second baseman stays with it. Makes that throw on to Poor at first and in time to get him. Jalen Blair hit it pretty hard going the other way. And that last hop went as high as the head, maybe even a little higher for Braden Hott, who was able to get it and still have time to make that throw. The out 4-3, one away, and it brings up Ben Reisenweber. West Virginia, Virginia, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Florida, the state champions that get together in Warner Robins, Georgia. First pitch to Reisenweber, low and outside, ball one. Reisenweber had a bases-loaded walk back in the first inning. Takes a called strike on this pitch. It's 1-1 strike. And, of course, that's Southeast Region champion. Advances on to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and the Little League World Series. Here's a pitch on the 1-1 that misses down low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Looking at state champions through recent years, it's been a while since we've had a District 6 representative win that state championship, as Reisenweber takes down and in 3 balls and a strike. In fact, you got to go back to 2007 when South Berkeley got that state championship win against Martinsburg. That was a big game out at Hedgesville. Huge crowd on hand for that one. 3-1 pitch down low. That is ball 4. Reisenweber draws the base on balls. A 1-out base runner for Martinsburg and Matthew Johns. Since then, Hurricane claimed the 2008 and 9 state championships. Ripley won it in 2010, and Fairmont in 2011, and Shinston in 2012. We have a visit out to the mound. Manager Travis Mowry going over some things in the mechanics, and especially how Whitaker is coming down on that front slope of the mound. You go to 2013, and it was Barbersville winning the championship, and then Bridgeport 3 in a row, 2014, 15, and 16. It was Logan as the state championship in 2017, and Barbersville last year. Runner is on the move with a pitch to the plate, and the throw down. It gets by the shortstop, or excuse me, that's the second baseman there to cover. But a nice job by Lloyd, the center fielder, on it quickly and holding Reisenweber to just a base. He will get credit for the steal. Not a bad throw from Smith, but it took that bounce, and Hott couldn't handle it cleanly. Ended up in center field. So they count a ball and no strikes now on Matthew Johns, who had an RBI single to left his first time up. Now Poor at first. In on the grass is the pitch to the plate. Hit high and deep into left field, and that one is gone. A home run. Matthew Johns turning on the 1-0 pitch. Sends it out over that left field fence. Dimensions 200 feet all the way around. It's a 2-run home run as Martinsburg extends that lead out to 6-1. Johns with his first home run of the postseason, 4th as a team for Martinsburg. That's a big one after a run by Hampshire in the bottom of the second inning for Martinsburg to put 2 on the board here in the top of the third. Really big. And now Will Fleming being called on as a pinch hitter. So Fleming to bat here in this third inning for R.J. Brown in the number 9 spot in the order. So Reisenweber, who walked, scores on the 2-run home run from Johns. Martinsburg scored 4 in the first. They've added 2 here in the third. Base is now empty with 1 away. Will Fleming in the right-hand batter's box. And he takes down low, ball 1. Fleming looking for his first hit of the postseason. Has drawn 3 base on balls. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Squares around, shows bunt, pulls back and takes a strike on the inside corner. Now 1-1. Hayden Medina due next as Martinsburg ready to send their leadoff batter to the plate for a 3rd time. And we're in the 3rd inning. 1-1 pitch stays high to Fleming. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 due. And that one's on the outside edge. That is a strike. Now 2-2. Whitaker Gave up a hit in that second inning, but struck out the side. He's given up the 2-run home run here in this inning. A swing and a foul ball off the fencing in front of the dugout along the first base side as the count to Fleming holds at 2-2. A little late on that one. Able to foul it off, and now he awaits another 2-ball, 2-strike delivery. Here it comes, and it's strike 3 on the outside corner. So Fleming caught looking. That's 4 Ks now for Whitaker. 2 outs in the inning. The bases are empty, and here comes Aiden Medina. Medina got caught looking, facing Mark Richmond in that first inning. And then later in the first inning, the first batter that Whitaker faced, Whitaker got him to pop out to the second baseman. First pitch of the at-bat, a little up and in to the left-hand hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. Cloud cover overhead right now. It is a very still evening. Sticky and not much of a breeze blowing as Medina takes one. Down in the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes. Whitaker kicking a little bit of dirt around right in front of that pitching rubber. From the stretch, he's ready to go, and the delivery lifted in the air, foul and out of play. Down the right field line, now 2 balls and a strike. Martinsburg does have 7 state championships to their credit, but their last came all the way back in 1991. Hampshire does not have a state championship in this age bracket. 2-1 pitch, missing down in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike to Medina. He does have a walk to his credit in this postseason. Taking on the 3-1, it is a strike, and the count is full 3-2. It was a 2-2 pitch in which he got caught looking in that first inning. First time he has seen a 3-2 pitch in this one, and he swings and bounces it fair towards the first baseman. Poor taking a step over to his left, able to glove that one and step on the bag in time to get him. So Medina grounds out 3 unassisted in your scorebook, and that ends the inning. But the big blow in the inning, a 2-run home run from Matthew Johns. And as we go to the bottom of the third, it's now Martinsburg 6 and Hampshire 1.
You can get out your white 50-50 ticket. We're going to pick the winner. The total of the pot was $80. After that is $40. So with the winning number, you can come claim your $40 prize in the press box. That winning number is 314295 Again, it is 314295
And we are going to the bottom half of inning number 3, middle point of this one, scheduled to go 6. Martinsburg with a 6-1 lead. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for Hampshire, getting the call out 51 pitches. The official number so far for Landon Whitaker in his now 2 1/3 innings in relief. 26 of those have gone for strikes. Braden Hott out of that number 2 spot in the order to face Ben Reisenweber. Brett Pedersen, by the way, back out there behind the plate catching after he was hit for in the last half inning. Hott swings, fouls it back to the backstop for strike 1. Braden Hott drew a walk, got to second base before being stranded there back in the first inning. Left-hand batter, not real big in that batter's box as he takes this pitch down low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Small strike zone to try to find. The 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. due to the left-hand batter. The righty on the hill delivers, and it's a ground ball. Sharply hit past the third baseman Alter to his glove side left. He didn't really get down on it. I think was expecting a little different hop than what he got, and it stayed low and skipped right past him. And Hot will be aboard at first. I guess that's part of the reason they call that the hot corner, as the ball got on him very quickly.
Now to bat number 13, Ethan Van Meter.
So Ethan Van Meter to the plate with the leadoff batter on. We have a question of pitch counts for Martinsburg. They're making sure how many that Ben Reisenweber has thrown. Right up around, looks like 43 or so, a little more than 40. They're tallying that up to make sure. And this is a case where manager Victor Lupus may be looking at his options, knowing that they've got to win 4 days straight. So again, it was right around 43. If you look at the pitch count rule, that rule states that if a pitcher throws between 36 and 50 pitches, then that pitcher has to have a couple of days rest. If they go above 50, getting to 51 pitches, up to 65, it's 3 days rest. At 66 to 85 pitches, 4 days of rest. Still waiting to see what may happen. Martinsburg does have a pitcher loosening in the pen down that left field line. One of the coaches down there with those pitchers, and I believe they're going to bring him back to the dugout. So pitcher and catcher loosening in the bullpen. That is out of play down the left field line. It's in a fenced-in area where the players are protected and out of the way. And so now Van Meter ready to stand in, and action back underway with that runner at first. Van Meter 0 for 1. He hit a bouncer in the grass off the third base side of the mound, where Reisenweber scooped it and threw him out in that first. Grounded out 1-3. Swings and bounces this one to the shortstop. Alter has it. Or excuse me, that's Oviedo who has it and makes that throw to Brown at second in time to get Hot. So they do get the force outs. The out goes 6-4. Hot is retired. One down in the inning, and Van Meter reaches on the fielder's choice. Nice play by Braden Oviedo. Now instead of Luke Poor, looks like Kaylee Hall who will stand in. So Kaylee Hall will bat here in this third inning. Batting for Luke Poor in the number 4 spot in the order.
Number 00, Kaylee Hall.
Kaylee Hall, the right-hand batter. Open stance with that front foot shaded down that third base line. Steps into the pitch and grounds it sharply back up the middle under the glove of the pitcher and into center field. Scooped up there by Aiden. Medina gets it back into the cutoff man Oviedo. As the runners will hold, Van Meter goes from first to second. Hall aboard at first on that single to center. She wasted little time getting a fastball to her liking and sent it right back through the box. So runners at first and second with one down. Brings up Cannon Mowry. He squares, pops a bunt up in behind the plate. That one hitting the backstop for strike one. Despite one out in the inning, Mowry trying to lay one down to advance those base runners and maybe leg it out himself. Christian Alter, the third baseman, right at the fringe of the dirt and the grass. We've got a few folks, I believe, in that batter's eye area out behind center field, and that's why they're asking them to move, so there's not a distraction to the batter at the plate. Now we're back to action with that 0-1 on the way. Low and outside, gets by the catcher. That'll be a wild pitch, allowing the base runners to advance. Not much that Pedersen could do to get to that one. Well outside and low. So Hall moves up to second While Van Meter goes to third. 2 in scoring position, and now a chance for Hampshire to answer the 2-run home run in the top of the third inning. They got to within 4-1. That 2-run homer made it 6-1. And here's a bunt up the first base line, fielded by the pitcher. They get the out at first, and now the return throw. Nope, won't even be made. Matty Lupus did not make that throw. I guess did not want to risk trying to throw it away as Ethan Van Meter comes home to score on the play. Call that a safety squeeze, if you will, as the runner not coming until that ball was in play, and the pitcher made up his mind where he was going with it. That will be a bunt out and a run batted in. That bunt also advancing Hall to third base. So now 6-2 the Martinsburg lead. 2 runs on the board now for Hampshire. The out 1-3 on the bunt for Mowry. 2 outs in the inning. And that pitch to Fry just off the outside edge for ball 1. Easton Fry drew a base on balls and came around to score in the second inning. Scored the first of the 2 runs on the board right now for Hampshire. Here's the pitch, and it's a bouncer off the first base side of the mound where it's fielded by Reisenweber. A quick underhand toss to first. Fry is retired, and so too is Hampshire, but they are able to get a run across. A couple of hits in the inning, a fielder's choice, and then the RBI bunt from Cannon Mowry. And as we head to inning number 4, your score is Martinsburg 6 and Hampshire 2.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
For 19, that would mean Brent Evans is now playing out in right field defensively for Hampshire. We move to the top half of inning number 4. This Little League International Tournament game is presented by Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg under the authority of Little League Baseball and Softball, and may not be rebroadcast or retransmitted without the expressed written permission of Little League International, South Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Visit Little League online at littleleague.org. Back out there on the hill, Landon Whitaker. He has done a solid job slowing down this Martinsburg offense after 4 runs in the first. He has given up just the 2-run home run to Matthew Johns since taking over in that first inning. It's Jameer Brown getting the 4th started and taking ball 1 high and outside. Jameer Brown awaits and looks at this one that just misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Brown with a single and a run scored back in that first inning. Last time up against Whitaker, got caught looking at a 3-2 pitch. He fouled a couple away. He swings at this one, sends a line drive straight away into center field over the head of Loy. Takes 1 bounce off the warning track and up against the fence. The throw in, not in time. Sliding in safely out at second is Brown. That throw from Loy bouncing into the middle of the infield where it's grabbed by the catcher Carter Smith in from the mound, between the mound and home plate. But Brown staying put at second has that leadoff double. Boy, he put a charge into that one. A solid line drive into straightaway center field. Another double to his credit, as he now has 3 doubles on the postseason. Christian Alter, the batter. Pitch to him. He hits it down the left field line, but right at the left fielder. Easton Fry right there to pull that one in for out number 1. So one away in the inning. Alter was 1 for 1. He had walked, singled, and scored a run. Had a fly out here in this at-bat, so one down with a runner at second, and now Braden Oviedo to the plate, and the first pitch to him a bit low and outside for ball 1. Oviedo walked and scored in the first, last time up in the second against Whitaker. Struck out swinging at a 2-2 pitch. He had a few foul balls in that at bat as well before eventually going down on strikes. Takes high here, and it's 2-0. Hampshire did not score in the first, put a run on the board in the second and a run in the third. Martinsburg, who scored 4 in the first, did not score in the second. He scored 2 in the third. Here's a pitch that bounces out in front of the plate through the catcher to the backstop, and Brown goes from second to third. Count moves to 3 balls and no strikes on Oviedo. That one out in front of the plate, a wild pitch. Smith tried to keep his body in front of it, just couldn't do it. And now that 3-0 delivery, here it comes. A strike on the outside corner. 3-1. Matty Lupus would be due next. The 3-1 delivery. It is on the way, and it's a bouncer on one hop right back to the pitcher. He'll look the runner back to third and then make that throw to first. Nice pick there at first as well by Kaylee Hall, who's taken over at first base. Oviedo is retired. 1-3. Big out. That's the second out in the inning. And the runner Brown had to stay put at third. Nice play defensively. That one came very quickly right back at Whitaker. And now we are going to see Sean Parkinson re-enter and bat here in this fourth inning. Matty Lupus had stayed in and played first for a couple of Hampshire at-bats after Lupus went down looking back in the second inning. And now we see Parkinson back in. He got caught looking at a 2-2 pitch his first time up. Here he takes high, ball 1. Top half of the fourth inning scheduled to go 6. We'll take a break in between games, and then right around the 7:30 is the scheduled first pitch for the winner's bracket matchup between Jefferson and Bi-State. Jefferson will be the visiting team, and that one is Bi-State. Won the coin flip earlier. 1-0 pitch high and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Whitaker really paying a lot of attention to Brown at third. An important run for Martinsburg. Out in front right now, 6-2. With a run 60 feet away, would like to find a way to get that run in as Parkinson takes a strike. It's 2-1. So far in this one, 4 runners have been left on base by Martinsburg, 3 in scoring position. That means they've left 33 base runners so far through 4+ games on the postseason. A pop-up foul territory and just out of play. The count moves to 2-2. Carter Smith, Hampshire catcher, giving it a look off the third base side behind home plate. He got to the lower fencing from the high backstop fencing, but could not reach it as it was out of play by only about 5 feet or so. So 2-2 to Parkinson with 2 outs and a runner at third. Whitaker a little more mound work as he kicks some dirt up against the pitching rubber, and now delivers a strike on the outside corner. And Parkinson caught looking for a second time in this one. Strikeout number 5 for Landon Whitaker. A double to lead off the inning, but Martinsburg cannot score as they leave Jameer Brown stranded at third base. And we will move to the bottom of the fourth when we come back with your score. Still Martinsburg 6 and Hampshire 2.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, you want to plan ahead, or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering a quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
As we welcome you back into Little League All-Star Baseball, we remind you of Washington Nationals baseball going on down in D.C. And for the Nationals, they have a 4-0 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning over Kansas City, and Max Scherzer in 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, 1 walk, no runs, and 4 hits allowed. He has once again been outstanding. Well, we've got a pitching change. It's Sean Parkinson who is going to take over on the mound. First time that we have seen Parkinson in this postseason. So 2 more pitchers being used in the tournament by Victor Lupus. 5 pitchers, Oviedo, Medina, Alter, Brown, and Johns, all worked back in the area tournament. Reisenweber had not. He got the start in this one and was very effective. Over the course of 3 innings, right around 48 pitches, we have him giving up 2 runs on 3 hits. He did issue 3 walks and also struck out 2 batters. Now gives way to Parkinson, who will take over to face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due in this Hampshire half of inning number 4. Right now down 6-2. Just 3 at-bats left for Hampshire. They'd like to get a little something going right here. It is Brent Evans, who came in defensively in right field in the last half inning, standing in to get his first at-bat here in this one in that number 7 spot in the order. And the right-hand hitter swings and bounces one off the third base side of the mound. It is knocked down by Parkinson, then a low throw to first, and Brown trying to dig it out. Could not make that play, and Evans will reach it first. Might be an error on Parkinson, who did not come up with that one cleanly as he rushed himself just a little bit. Bent down and had it in his hand, but then as he stood up, dropped that baseball, and by the time he could pick it up and get it to first, then that throw was low. So a base runner for Mark Richmond, who will take low, ball 1. Richmond's first at-bat. He was the starting pitcher, but did not get out of that top of the first inning before Landon Whitaker came in. So Whitaker then hit in that second inning. And now Richmond gets a chance to swing the bat here in this 4th inning. Fouls a pitch out of play. The count goes to 1-1. There was the foot race to go after that foul ball. A couple of young spectators going to get it. I think there might be a prize if you bring that foul ball back. 1-1 delivery on the way. Stays high. Now 2 balls and a strike to Richmond. Good size in that right-hand batter's box. Digging back in. Awaiting now a 2-1 pitch. Nobody out with a runner at first. Here it comes. Down low and in. 3 balls and a strike. Parkinson, a right-hander on the mound, rubbing down that baseball a little bit as he got it back from his catcher. Reisenweber now playing at second. Brown, who was at second, now playing at first defensively. It is Pedersen behind the plate who receives that 3-1 pitch down in the dirt for ball 4. Richmond is aboard, chasing Evans to second. 2-1 with nobody out. And it brings up Carter Smith. Smith had a single into left center his first time up out of that number 9 spot in the order. The right-hand batter takes high, ball 1. Martinsburg did not commit an error through the first 3 innings. Reisenweber did give up 3 base on balls. An error and a walk now in this inning, and Hampshire trying to get something going as Smith shows bunt, takes the pitch. It is a strike. Count now at 1-1. First baseman and third baseman were coming down as the second baseman was going to cover second and the shortstop going to cover third. Smith does not show bunt, swings through the 1-1 pitch. Now with a ball and 2 strikes. Smith helped him out just a little bit there. That pitch up. Parkinson with that 1-2 delivery from the windup. Here it comes, a bouncing ball towards the third baseman. Alter has it, steps on third, and that's all he'll get. He looked across the diamond but did not make the throw as Smith got down the line quickly. He'll reach on the fielder's choice. The out 5 unassisted at third erases the lead runner Evans. 1 down in the inning and still runners at first and second as Richmond now stands at second with Smith aboard at first. Back to the top of the order and Aiden Loy. Loy, the left-hand batter, takes strike 1. Looking for his first hit today. He struck out swinging at a 3-2 pitch in the first, and then in the second inning hit a sharp ground ball fielded by the second baseman Brown for the outs. Loy with a swing and a miss at the 0-1, 0-2. And out in the second inning recorded 4-3. So Loy 0 for 2. And now that 0-2 pitch on the way. Again sharply hit, but right at the first baseman. Brown has it. He'll step on first, and Loy again retired, even though he really made good contact. He's got to feel a little bit snake bit, if you will. He has hit the ball sharply in his last 2 at-bats, but right at Jameer Brown. Brown made the play out at second in the second, and now moving over to first, makes the play here. The runners do advance as Richmond now stands at third, Smith at second. Braden Hott, the due batter. Now we're going to have a quick conference on the mound. Victor Lupus out to talk with his pitcher. As we play here in the 8 to 10-year-olds, Jefferson, the district champion, moving on. They're scheduled to play Milton coming up in the state tournaments. Jefferson with a 15-0 win over Hedgesville to claim the District 6 championship. The 9 to 11-year-old tournament won by Bi-State. They beat Martinsburg by a 10-5 score. So Bi-State moving on to the state level. In junior league play, Jefferson, the district champion, moving on to the state tournament as they defeated South Berkeley 14-2 in that title game. Action back underway as the conference on the mound concludes, and the first pitch to Braden Hott high for ball 1. And the senior league tournament had Martinsburg and South Berkeley both advancing as Martinsburg is hosting. So District 6 getting a pair of teams in that tournament. Here's a swing and a looper over the head of the shortstop, and it gets beyond the reach of the left fielder as well, and a pair of runs will come home to score, and heads up base running by Braden Hott, who ends up all the way at third base. Braden Hott on that 1-0 pitch got it out off the end of the bat and just lifted that soft liner out over the head of the shortstop Oviedo. Had a little bit of an awkward bounce to it, and as the left fielder came charging in, Fleming could not play it cleanly as it took a little bit of a skip behind him. And 2 runners score as Richmond comes home from third and Smith from second. Now here's a ground ball on the first pitch to Ethan Van Meter, gloved by the shortstop Oviedo. He throws on to first in time to get him. That out recorded 6-3, and the side is retired. But a 2 RBI clutch hit with 2 outs in the inning for Braden Hott, making this one a little closer. We'll head to the 5th inning when we come back with the score now Martinsburg 6 and Hampshire 4.
Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
It's really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
Well, a pitching change coming now for Hampshire, as they're going to give the baseball to Ethan Van Meter. So we'll have a new shortstop as well. We'll see who that is in just a moment. Van Meter taking over for Whitaker. Whitaker able to work 3 1/3 innings. Gave up just the 2 runs on that 2-run home run from Matthew Johns. 3 hits allowed by Whitaker. He would strike out 5 while issuing just 1 base on balls. So he did exactly what they needed him to do to help keep this game close and slow down that Martinsburg attack. And Hampshire has rallied after falling behind 4-0 after the top of the first inning. They're back to within 6-4. So a big inning now for this Martinsburg offense as Brett Pedersen stands in, swings at the first pitch, and fouls it back out of play. So Pedersen batting here in this 5th inning, top of the 5th, after he had given way to Jalen Blair in the 3rd inning. Pedersen had a bases loaded walk to bring in a run back in the 1st, his only at bat so far. Takes this pitch that's up and away. Count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. That 1-1 on the way from Van Meter, right down the middle. It's a called strike 2. Give this Hampshire team a lot of credit after giving up the 4 in the 1st. You wondered how they would respond, and thanks to Landon Whitaker on the mound, they've responded very well. Pedersen with a swing and a miss, down on strikes. Came up empty on that 1-2. Martinsburg's had a little bit of an issue with strikeouts. That's now the 8th K in this one. And it looks like Braden Harrison being called on in a pinch hitting role. So Harrison to bat here in this 5th inning, in the spot previously manned by Ben Reisenweber. See if Reisenweber goes back out to play at second, as he went to second in the last half inning after starting the game on the mound. Harrison in the right-hand batter's box takes a pitch up and away for ball 1. Harrison with a hit in 4 at-bats on this postseason. Awaiting that 1-0, and here it comes. Down low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. You go back to that 1st inning, and the 4 runs from Martinsburg scored on a couple of hits, but there's 4 walks and a hit batter that were really costly. 2 of those walks came with the bases loaded, so they took advantage of what they were given in scoring those runs. 2-0 pitch taken for a strike, now 2-1. Van Meter from the windup works more from the first base side of the pitching rubber. This is a little up and in as Harrison ducked out of the way, and that's 3-1. A lot of times you'll see that right-hand pitcher work a little more from the third base side of that pitching rubber. And here's a pitch that again misses high and tight. Harrison draws the base on balls. A 1-out base runner. Matthew Johns, the due batter, 2 for 2 today. 3 runs batted in, a single, and his last time up a 2-run home run out over the left field fence. Tall and lean in that right-hand batter's box. Back foot about even with the point on the back of the plate as he looks to stride out into that front part of the batter's box. Takes this pitch high, ball 1. And you see different approaches from different hitters. Some like to be about where he is. Others want to be back as far away from the pitcher as possible for that little extra moment to be able to pick up the fastball. As Johns takes a pitch down in the dirt, it gets by the catcher. A wide turn by Harrison out at second, and it draws a throw as he ends up back there safely. Moving up on that low pitch to Johns. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. So a walk and a wild pitch advancing the base runner in scoring position. The 2-0 on the way. Here's a fly ball, well hit into center field. That one's going to get over the head of Loy. He'll pick it up right at the base of the fence, firing in and holding the batter to a single as Johns makes a wide turn but will stay put there. Harrison, not sure if that one might be caught. Really couldn't take off on the crack of the bat. He got about halfway, and once it was down, could only reach third base. So Johns has a very long single, and he is 3 for 3 on the day. Nice way to start this district tournament here in Petersburg for Matthew Johns. And now Will Fleming to the plate. Second at bat for Fleming. He squares around, shows bunt, pushes that bunt out towards the mound. It is fielded by the pitcher, turns, throws to first, not in time. Bases are loaded. Johns goes to second. Fleming aboard at first, and he reaches on the bunt base hit. That split second that Van Meter turned and looked towards that runner at third was all that Fleming needed to be able to beat it out. And the bases are loaded with one down, and we go back to the top of the order in Aiden Medina. 0 for 3, he is due, if you will. And we do have a question, it looks like. Victor Lupus coming down. I think he may have a question related to a special pinch runner. So R.J. Brown, it looks like, is going to come in and serve as a special pinch runner for Matthew Johns out at second base. So Brown, a special pinch runner, now sandwiched between Harrison, who is at third, and Fleming, who is at first. And Medina into that left-hand batter's box. Just one out in the inning. Big chance for Martinsburg. In front 6-4, and Medina swings, pops it up on the infield. The shortstop is there and makes the grab. On the dirt, right where you would expect a shortstop to play. He came in where he was only a step or so away from getting to that infield grass. Playing in already with the bases loaded, and that's a pretty routine play for out number 2.
Number 27, Jameer Brown.
Now it brings up the dangerous Jameer Brown, and that looked to be, and it was, Cannon Mowry, who moved over from third to short. Now Brown at the plate, and he takes down low and outside, ball 1. Brown is 2 for 3, a single, then a strikeout, looking at his last time up, a double. He has come around to score a run. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and he sends it high and deep into straightaway center field. Leaping, Lloyd can't get to it. It's over his head. A run will score. Here comes another. It's a double for Jameer Brown, driving in a pair as Harrison scores and Brown scores. Fleming stops at third, and Jameer Brown now standing at second base, and that makes it an 8-4 Martinsburg lead. Pair of doubles now for Brown. He brings in a pair of runs, key runs, the way this one has been playing out. Christian Alter, the batter. Clutch hit with 2 outs, and the first pitch, low and outside to Alter, goes through to the backstop, but the runners will hold. A ball and no strikes. Alter has walked and scored, and that came in the first. In the second, he singled and was stranded. And in the fourth inning, had a fly out to left. Here comes that 1-0, and he swings and lifts this one in the air into center field. Ranging over to his right, making that grab on the run is Aiden Loy, and that will end the inning. Alter hit it well, but it hung just enough. Loy got a good read on it and made a nice catch on the run. The side is retired, but a clutch 2-out, 2 RBI double from Jameer Brown helps Martinsburg to add to the lead. Moving to the bottom of the 5th inning, it's now Martinsburg 8 and Hampshire 4.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
Well, a new pitcher on the mound for Martinsburg. Looks like Matthew Johns, who will come on to spell Sean Parkinson. Parkinson worked to the 4th inning and gave up a couple of runs on 1 hit. He would walk a batter and did not strike out a batter. Now Johns becomes the 3rd pitcher of the day for Martinsburg. Johns, the first pitcher that saw any action back in the area tournament, and that was just a 1/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs, no strikeouts, no walks, as Johns now comes in to work this bottom of the 5th inning. We were mentioning earlier other tournaments going on. The senior tournament, we talked about Martinsburg and South Berkeley both advancing on to the state tournament because District 6 is hosting that tournament. That's going on back at Martinsburg. Martinsburg and Sophia, Shinston and South Berkeley, the matchups in the early going of that state tournament. Here it's District 6 play. Looking to see which of these 4 teams will advance on to represent the district at the state tournament. Right now Martinsburg with an 8-4 lead, and the first pitch to Kaylee Hall bounced foul in behind the plate. Hall had a single in the 3rd inning when she came in a pinch hitting role for Luke Poor. She stayed in the game at first, and now with her 2nd at bat, sends this one the other way. That's a deep ball that will take 1 bounce up against the fence right at the 200-foot sign. The right fielder getting it to the cutoff, and the throw to second, and not in time. Hall went in standing just ahead of the tag of Oviedo. Reisenweber back out there. He was the relay man. I think that might be Parkinson now out there in right field. So that is a double for Kaylee Hall. Now Cannon Mowry makes his way to the plate. With a run in scoring position, nobody out, bottom of the 5th. This Hampshire team not going to go away quietly. Mowry sends it on 1 bounce right back to the pitcher, looks at the runner at 2nd, and then throws on to 1st, and a return throw across the diamond. Too high for the 3rd baseman Alter, but a nice job by R.J. Brown as the left fielder came down the line backing up the play and preventing Hall from scoring. So Mowry will bounce out 1-3 for the first out of the inning. I'm a little surprised Johns didn't make a move towards Kaylee Hall as he looked at her well off of that 2nd base bag, already committed towards going to 3rd, but he wanted to make sure he got an out. And he turned and made that throw over to 1st. Able to get Mowry. And now Easton Fry stands in and takes strike 1. Fry has walked and scored and has bounced out to the pitcher. Takes this one down low and outside. 1-1. So another run just 60 feet away for Hampshire, trailing 8-4. An all-important run out there with just 1 down. Here's the pitch down low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the order has done pretty well. 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters have scored 3 of the 4 runs on the board. The 2-1 pitch, again low and outside. 3 balls and a strike to Fry. Fry has scored, Richmond has scored, and Smith has scored. That's out of the 6, 8, and 9 spots in the order. Late on that one, Fry cannot make contact, a swing and a miss, and the count is full 3-2. Johns, good presence on the mound. Working from the windup with that runner at 3rd. A right-hander to the plate, and it's a tapper foul in behind home. Fry making contact, stays alive as the count holds full 3-2. 6:44 our time, 7:30 scheduled first pitch for game 2 of our doubleheader. Fry takes in the 3-2, misses outside, and that is ball 4. The base on balls will put runners at the corners. Let's see who the batter is going to be, as we'll have a pinch hitter. So number 8 coming in to hit, and that's Braxton Billmeyer.
Now to bat number 8, Braxton Billmeyer.
So Braxton Billmeyer becomes the third batter to hit in this number 7 spot in the order. Billmeyer, good size in that right-hand batter's box, taking this pitch that misses. The throw down with a runner on the move in time to get the out, and Martinsburg will allow the run to score. So Kaylee Hall will get the steal of home, drawing Hampshire a little bit closer, trailing 8-5, but Easton Fry thrown out at second on the caught stealing. Nice throw down by Pedersen. And that's the second out of the inning. And the pitch to Billmeyer, a strike as the count now evens up to him 1-1. So Martinsburg was willing to exchange the out for the run in that situation. Billmeyer sends a bouncer towards the first baseman, takes a little awkward hop that goes to the right side of Jameer Brown and ends up out in right field. So Billmeyer reaching may very well be a bad bounce base hit as opposed to an error. Tough play as that one took that last skip to his right and was just about chest high. Now a special pinch runner as Wyatt Adams is being called on.
Now to bat number 34, Mark Richmond.
Adams was originally in this spot, the number 7 spot in the order, now running at first base. Batter at the plate, Mark Richmond takes strike 1. So Richmond up for a second time, drew a walk and scored in that 4th inning. The right-hand batter lays off this one and takes a strike. Down in the count now, 0-2. A run in the inning, a runner at first base, 2 down, 8-5. Martinsburg in front. 0-2 from Johns, and it's a called strike 3. Nice pitch on that outer part of the plate. Richmond goes down looking. Big strikeout for Johns. A run does score. A couple of hits in the inning. A walk as well, and the run on a double steal as Kaylee Hall steals home, and we will head to our 6th and final inning of regulation after this timeout with your score, Martinsburg 8 and Hampshire 5.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery. Anthony'sMenu.com.
Here we go, top half of inning number 6, final inning of regulation. Martinsburg looking for some insurance right now in front by 3 runs, 8-5. Checking in on the Nationals and the Royals down at Nationals Park, Washington, with a run in the first 3 in the second. They added 2 more in the 7th inning, and the Nationals now with a 6-0 lead. The game in the top of the 9th inning. And the Nats have gone to the bullpen. Scherzer in the start. No runs, 4 hits, 7 innings, 11 Ks, 1 walk, looking to get the win in this one. Tanner Rainey has been on, and right now Grace is on the hill. The first pitch from Van Meter, swing and a miss. Braden Oviedo down in the count, 0-1. Oviedo out of the number 4 spot in the order. Takes this one high and outside, 1-1. Looking for his first hit. He walked and scored in the first. Struck out in the second and out on a comebacker to the mound in the fourth. Opening up this top of the 6th inning. He swings, hits a little cue off the end of the bat, spinning to the warning track in front of the first base dugout, a foul ball. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nationals with a major turnaround. Since right at the end of May, they now have the best record in baseball over that span. Trying to get back in the win column after letting one get away yesterday. Oviedo with a wave and a miss at the 1-2 pitch. Down on strikes for a second time in this one. Second strikeout for Van Meter since coming in relief. Pulled the string on that one and had Oviedo well out in front. Now Parkinson to bat. Sean Parkinson, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Pitch to him, high and tight, ball 1. Brett Pedersen would be due next. Martinsburg put 4 on the board in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the 5th inning. Didn't score in either the second or the fourth. Parkinson lifts this one in the air, foul territory and out of play down that left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. So if the pattern holds, they don't score in this half inning. Hampshire didn't score in the first inning. They have played it at least 1 run in each of their last 4 at-bats. A run in the second, a run in the third, 2 in the fourth, and a run in that 5th inning. Here's the pitch outside. 2-1 now to Parkinson. Hampshire going to need to mount a rally. We'll have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters due in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's that 2-1 pitch. Inside and hit him. Parkinson could not get out of the way of that 2-1 that came right in on him. He turned around and took it in the backside, and he goes down to first, hit by a pitch. And here comes Brett Pedersen. Pedersen had a bases-loaded walk in the first, came up again in the 5th and struck out. Sandwiched in between, Jalen Blair had an at-bat in the 3rd inning and grounded out to second. Here's the pitch, a swing and a miss. That is strike 1. Hampshire hoping for a rally to keep their chances alive in this tournament. Last time they went from the district to the state tournament was 2016. This pitch on the outside corner, that is a strike. Count 0-2 now to Pedersen. In 2016, as Hampshire went to that state tournament, they were joined by Jefferson. Hampshire went 1-2 in bracket play. 0-2 pitch high and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes, while Jefferson went on to the state semifinal, where they lost a win shy of playing for that state championship. Jefferson and Bi-State due next in our winners bracket showdown on this doubleheader Saturday. Swing and a miss at the 1-2 pitch. It glances off the mid of Smith with first base occupied. Pedersen started towards first and then stopped, but the runner at first, Parkinson, is able to take second base. That'll be a passed ball. That strikeout is the 3rd for Van Meter. And now a runner in scoring position with 2 away. Ben Reisenweber to the plate. So Reisenweber to bat here in the 6th inning. He has walked twice. Once with the bases loaded. He has come around to score on one of those as well. Gave way to Braden Harrison, who walked and scored in the 5th. And now Reisenweber standing back in again. And now Will Fleming going to be called on and serve as a special pinch runner. So Fleming takes over at second. A little more speed on the base paths with 2 away. As Ben Reisenweber digs into the right-hand batter's box. 8-5, Martinsburg with the lead, looking for that insurance run. Pitch outside, ball 1. Cloudy skies prevailing. Had rain earlier in the day, but so far so good this evening. Great job by the grounds crew to have this field ready to go. Here's a pitch a little up and in. 2 balls, no strikes now to Reisenweber. 8-5 Martinsburg in front. Hampshire down to their final at bat in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes that pitch, and it's fouled back out of play just to the right of the press box. Now 2-1. Reisenweber a couple of hits in 8 trips to the plate with a couple of walks in this one. He's now walked 3 times in the postseason, so only 1 walk through the area tournament. A couple of walks here, and he's, well, almost ready for another as this pitch misses high, and it's 3-1. This will be the 3rd walk of the day for Reisenweber, and the 4th walk by a batter in this spot in the order. Reisenweber had the green light and fouls that 3-1 to the backstop. Took a nice hearty cut at that one. Now he'll step back in and await a payoff pitch. 2 outs with that runner at second. Van Meter with a 3-2 delivery. Here it comes. Off speed, lifted in the air down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is a fair ball. That is Hall now out in right field, who scoops it up, throws it back to the infield, but not before Fleming motors around third and comes home to score. A clutch 2-out RBI base hit for Reisenweber. Martinsburg adds to the lead, now out in front 9-5. Took it the other way and dropped it fair down that right field line by only a foot or so. And now Matthew Johns, the batter, and he swings through strike 1. Reisenweber draws a throw from the pitcher after Smith, the catcher, gave it back to Van Meter on the mound. 0-1 to Johns. Here comes the pitch. Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Matthew Johns 3 for 3 today. An RBI single in the first, a 2-run home run in the third, a single to center, and a run scored in the 5th. Here comes that 1-1. Swing and a 1-hopper past the shortstop. That one getting by Mowry and out to the fence in left center field. Reisenweber being waved around, and he's going to come home to score. Boy, that was a hot smash past the shortstop. And that one going through to the fence as Johns does it again. Able to bring home a run. 2 in the inning, and Martinsburg into double figures now with a 10-5 lead. They've now scored 8 or more runs 3 different times in this postseason. R.J. Brown to the plate. Brown swinging, grounds it towards the second baseman. Hott is up with it, and the throw on to first is in time to get him. 4-3 on the ground out. It brings the inning to a close, but 2 more runs do cross for Martinsburg, and they have added to the lead. Bottom of the 6th inning coming. Last opportunity for Hampshire with a 9-1 and 2 hitters due, and Martinsburg now out in front 10-5.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisk. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
We welcome you back in to Michael Field. We are at the Grant County Little League Complex just outside of Petersburg, West Virginia. Game 1, an elimination game here in the 10 to 12-year-old District 6 tournament. And we are going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Last opportunity for Hampshire, now down by a 10-5 score. It's Martinsburg Plated 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning, a couple of big insurance runs. And now towing that pitching rubber, trying to close this one out, will be Matthew Johns. Johns came in to work in the 5th inning and now will go to work here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And out of the number 9 spot in the order, Parker Charlton being called on. First at bat for Charlton, taking down low and outside, ball 1. Charlton, a right-hand batter, about middle of that batter's box. Looks at this pitch on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hayden Loy and then Braden Hott out of the 1 and 2 spots due next. Johns missing down and in as the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Hampshire scored 9 in one game against Moorfield, 11 in another as Charlton swings and misses. Now 2 and 2 in between just 3 runs in that matchup against Bi-State. 5 on the board right now in this one. 2-2 on the way. It's a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Second strikeout now for Matthew Johns. Charlton goes down looking, and with 1 away, Hayden Loy to the plate. They might have a pitching change, as that is going to be the 20-pitch limit for Matthew Johns so that they can still have him available even tomorrow. Pitch count rule allowing for that pitcher who throws 20 or fewer, no days rest. And you can go to that 20th pitch on a given batter and then finish out that batter, and that's exactly the situation here. As he throws 21 pitches, we had about 14 of those going for strikes. Now it looks like Christian Alter is being called on to try to close this one out. So Christian Alter taking over on the mound, the 4th pitcher of the day for Martinsburg as he goes through his warm-up tosses. Let's send it back to the studio. A 60-second break, and then we return. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 out, bases empty, and Martinsburg leading Hampshire 10-5.
We only make home loans, so we better be good at it. And we are. It's that simple. With our focus solely on mortgage lending, you can come to us with peace of mind knowing that your mortgage loan is in good hands. As one of the nation's largest private lenders, our focus is on helping you get into your new home.
The road to the TBT WVU Alumni Tour is coming to Hedgesville High School Saturday, July 13th at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale now for just $20 at jflowent.com. That's jflowent.com. Don't miss out on this exciting night of basketball with some incredible WVU alumni like John Flowers, Joe Alexander, Nate Adrian, and Deshaun Butler. Saturday, July 13th at 7 p.m. at Hedgesville High School, the road to the TBT WVU Alumni Tour comes to town.
Now wrapping up his warm-up tosses, Christian Alter taking over for Matthew Johns, who went 1 1/3 innings. Gave up a run on a couple of hits. He did strike out 2 and issued 1 base on balls. For Alter, back during the Area 1 tournament, he worked 3 innings, allowing 4 runs on 4 hits with a strikeout and no walks. He did hit a batter, and he was the tough luck loser in that 5-2 decision in the Winners Bracket Championship game against Jefferson. He takes over here with the bases empty and 1 out. Back to the top of the order, Aiden Loy up for a 4th time in this one. Swings, hits it towards the second baseman, Reisenweber, reaching out glove side, able to knock it down, but will not have a play. And Loy is going to reach at first. So Loy went after that first pitch. Hit it sharply, but a play you expect that Reisenweber will make there at second. Did not make that play, and it allows a 1-out base runner. So now Braden Hott to the plate. He is 2 for 2 with a walk as well. Last time up had a 2 RBI single out over Shorts. Swings and misses at this pitch. Strike 1. 10-5. Martinsburg out in front. Hampshire has to find a way to score at least 5 to keep it going. 6, and they could get a walk-off win. They went 9 innings in an 11-10 win against Moorfield in the Losers Bracket Championship in that Area 2 tournament. Hott takes the ball. Count now 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 from Alter. It misses high. Now at 2 balls and a strike. Lloyd dancing around over at first. With a 5-run lead, I'm not sure Martinsburg will pay a whole lot of attention. The 2-1 from Alter. On the outside corner for a strike, 2-2. Oh, Hott drew a walk on a full count pitch back in that first inning. Otherwise has not gone to 2 strikes in his other 2 at-bats. Awaiting the 2-2 here. And he swings and bounces this one towards the shortstop. Oviedo's got it. He goes to second, and they get the force out of Loy. Loy ran right through the base like he was going to first and out into left center field. Just trying to get there as quickly as he could. The out goes 6-4. 2 outs in the inning. Hott aboard at first as he reaches on that fielder's choice. So a runner on with 2 outs. Ethan Van Meter trying to keep it going for Hampshire. Christian Alter trying to close it down for Martinsburg. The right-hander ready. And the pitch, and it misses high for a ball. Coming up in our post game, we'll quickly recap the scoring. Take a break, come back and run some of the numbers from this one. Then we'll go into a bit of a break back at the studio, get into regular programming before coming back to get into game 2. Here's a swing and a ground ball on the 1-0 to the shortstop. Oviedo's got it. He will take it to the second base bag himself in time to get the force out of Hott. That will bring the inning and the game to a close as Martinsburg will get the victory by the final of 10-5. We will come back and tell you all about it after we take this 2-minute timeout. It's Little League All-Star Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
Blue Ridge Community and Technical College. Integrated directly with economic and workforce needs of the region, our programs are learner-centered and essential to the needs of a fast-paced global economy. To schedule a visit or to learn more, go to blueridgectc.edu. Take possibility to new heights. Ascend the ridge today. Blue Ridge Community and Technical College.
Hi, this is Eric from Hagerstown Ford. I keep telling you that Hagerstown Ford has completely changed the car buying experience forever. And with a return policy easier than Walmart, Hagerstown Ford has a goal to deliver 350 cars and trucks per month. And when I say deliver, I mean deliver to you, where you are, just like Amazon does. And if you don't want it, return it. No questions asked. The only way Hagerstown Ford can accomplish this extremely aggressive goal is to make the car buying process fast and easy. We simply refuse to play the dumb back and forth games that most dealerships want to play. There's absolutely no reason for you to waste your precious time at a car dealership. I assure you, there is no dealership from Winchester, Virginia to Washington, D.C. that can beat our price. There's no dealership that will allow you to return your new car if you don't want it. Hagerstown Ford absolutely has the best price, and we'll bring the car to you. And if you don't want it, return it, period. No questions asked. There's no reason to buy anywhere else. Visit HagerstownFord.com to schedule your VIP experience and get your new ride delivered to you.
Contact dealer for details.
Matt Miller with you from here in Petersburg. We've got Caleb Falero as our studio engineer. Let's get into our post-game show following a Game 1 elimination victory as Martinsburg tops Hampshire by a 10-5 final. We recap the scoring with Martinsburg putting 4 on the board in the first inning. Took advantage of some wild pitching as Mark Richmond just had trouble finding the strike zone. Ended up facing 9 batters in all. Martinsburg sent 10 to the plate. They came up with 2 hits. One of those a single to center for Jameer Brown. He came around to score. The other an RBI single from Matthew Johns, but sandwiched in between, there were 4 walks, a hit batter as well. 2 of those walks came with the bases loaded to help produce the runs, and Martinsburg was, if you will, off and running after that top of the first. But they didn't score in the second. Still had that 4-0 lead going into the bottom of the second inning when Hampshire got on the board. Easton Fry drew a leadoff walk, ultimately went all the way around to third base on a third strike wild pitch, and then he came home to score on an RBI groundout from Landon Whitaker. It was 4-1 Martinsburg, but Martinsburg put 2 on the board in the top of the third inning. After a 1-out walk to Ben Reisenweber, Matthew Johns delivered a 2-run home run over the left field fence. Martinsburg pushed that lead out to 6-1 at that point, but Hampshire wasn't going quietly. A leadoff single in the third got things going. Ethan Van Meter then reached on a fielder's choice after a single from Kaylee Hall. It was a RBI bunt for Cannon Mowry, the, if you will, safety squeeze to bring home the run, and that cut the deficit to 6-2. They would cut it down to 6-4 in the bottom of the fourth inning as Hampshire put 2 more on the board, a clutch 2-out, 2 RBI single from Braden Hott. And you wondered, okay, how's this one going to play out? Well, Martinsburg responded as they put 2 on the board in the 5th and 2 more in the 6th. In the 5th inning, it was a 2-out, 2 RBI double from Jameer Brown. And then in that 6th inning, an RBI single from Ben Reisenweber and an RBI double from Matthew Johns. And that would be all that Martinsburg would need as they used 4 pitchers in this one to shut things down for Hampshire. And Martinsburg gets the win by the final of 10-5. All right, let's take another 60-second break. When we come back, we'll run the numbers from this one. It's Little League All-Star Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
Well, time for us to take a look at the final statistics in this one, and as usual, we'll begin with the pitchers, and let's start with Martinsburg. It will be Ben Reisenweber, who went 3 innings, giving up 2 runs on 3 hits in the start. He would walk 3 and a strikeout 2. Sean Parkinson, an inning in relief, gave up 2 runs on a hit, no strikeouts with 1 walk. Matthew Johns, an inning and a third, allowed a run on 2 hits, 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. And then Christian Alter, 2/3 of an inning, did not give up a run or a hit, no strikeouts and no base on balls. Mark Richmond will take the loss for Hampshire in the start, gave up 4 runs on 2 hits in 2/3 of an inning, struck out 2 but had control issues, 4 walks, 1 hit batter. Landon Whitaker, 3 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, 5 strikeouts and 1 walk. Ethan Van Meter, 4 runs allowed on 5 hits in 2 innings, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk and 1 hit batter. We had Hampshire with 6 hits. Braden Hott, very good day. He drew a walk and then went 2 for 3 along with it, a couple of base hits, including a 2 RBI single. Kaylee Hall, very solid at the plate as she goes 2 for 2, a single, a double, and a run scored. Cannon Mowry delivered a RBI bunt, while Easton Fry drew a couple of walks and scored a run. There was an infield base hit for Braxton Billmeyer as well. And let's see, Mark Richmond had a walk and a run scored, while Landon Whitaker had a run batted in on a ground ball out. Meanwhile, for Martinsburg, we had them at 10 hits. Jameer Brown, 3 of those, a couple of doubles, a single, a run scored, a couple driven in. It was Christian Alter with a walk, a run scored, a single as well, as he goes 1 for 3. A walk and a run scored for Braden Oviedo. It was a hit by pitch and a run scored in the 6th inning for Sean Parkinson. Brett Pedersen had a bases loaded walk to bring in a run, scored one as well. Ben Reisenweber had a key RBI single as well as a couple of walks, 2 runs batted in for him. He would come around to score a couple of runs. And, well, the big hitter of the day, Matthew Johns, we've got him 4 for 4, a couple of singles, a double, a 2-run home run, 4 runs batted in all for Johns. Final totals look like this. Martinsburg 10 runs on 10 hits with 2 errors, 8 left, 7 in scoring position. Hampshire 5 runs on 6 hits with 1 error. They left 7, 3 in scoring position. Reisenweber the win, Richmond the loss. Time of the game, 2 hours and 5 minutes. Hampshire wraps up their Little League All-Star Tournament as they will finish 2 wins and 2 losses. Martinsburg is now 4-1, and they'll be right back here tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock the first pitch, and they'll take on the loser of our winner's bracket game, which is coming up next between Jefferson and Bi-State. They are saying that game is going to throw out the first pitch just about a half an hour from now, right around 7:45. So we're going to send it back to the studio. We'll get back into some regular programming with CBS Sports Radio, and then once we get our lineup cards together here, we'll come back for an abbreviated pregame show and then bring you the play-by-play action for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Thanks to each of our sponsors supporting our coverage of Little League All-Star Baseball. Thank you for joining us at each of our broadcast entities. Special thanks goes out to Administrator or District Administrator Nevin Kilmer, along with Buddy Auld and Richie Baldwin helping out here, tournament directors, assistant directors, all the staff and the folks here for their help and support with our broadcast coverage. Once again, our studio engineer Caleb Falero, I'm Matt Miller from here at Petersburg, reminding you our final in Game 1, Martinsburg 10 and Hampshire 5. Back with Game 2 soon.
Thank you for listening to live play-by-play coverage of Little League All-Star Baseball. Today's game has been brought to you by
Trips Floor Sanding and Berkeley Fashion Flooring, Bechtel Jewelers, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, the Berkeley County Health Department, Procter & Gamble, Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors John Everson and Phil McCoy, and Parsons Ford.
Little League All-Star Baseball is a special sports broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR, Martinsburg. All rights reserved.